In this video, I'm going to share with you 3 ways to earn passive income using Pionex's products. They involve advanced techniques like arbitrage and derivatives, but don't worry because Pionex makes it super simple to get started. So if you're a crypto investor looking to generate some passive income, then this video is for you. Strap in, my friend, and let's roll the intro. First, why should we even bother with passive income? Well, not everyone wants to risk 100% of their portfolio all the time. I mean, crypto has some insane volatility, and if you've already made some gains, it may make sense to use part of your portfolio to generate lower risk, consistent returns. That's why you see people yield farm with stablecoins or use interest accounts from centralized services like BlockFi. But as you can imagine, there are a ton of different ways to get passive income in crypto. Which one should you go with? Well, Pionex has a ton of options, and I want to focus on 3 of their products in particular. And just FYI, they have been a longtime sponsor of our channel, and I've covered them in previous videos as well, like their grid trading bot and their rebalancing bot. But neither of those are really considered passive income. This video is going to be centered around their arbitrage bot with 2 different modes, moderate and aggressive, as well as their structured product, which may take a little bit of time to wrap your head around, but don't worry because I'm going to break it all down for you. Let's do this. We'll go down the list of each option. I'll explain what you need to know and how to set them up, and then I'll end with some recommendations and tips. Sounds good? Let's go. All right, so before I show you around their mobile app and how to set everything up and what it looks like, let's start at their blog because this has some really good information and like background knowledge about what each of these products are. So just starting right here with their arbitrage moderate mode bot, I'm going to walk you through some main points, give you some highlights to get a better understanding of what it is and how it works. So this is a low risk bot that uses a hedging strategy with an annualized rate of return roughly around either 5% to 50% depending on market conditions, right? So they chose September to September and the total return was 28% and the max drawdown was 1.28%. There's no guarantees, okay? Like if any bot or any product ever guarantees you amazing returns, then it's likely a scam. But Pionex's bots does not do that. There are times it's going to underperform, but most of the time because of how it's set up, it's going to be safer and generate passive income. This one only takes ETH as the coin to arbitrage. And what they do essentially is they buy ETH in the spot market while selling ETH or like doing a short of the same amount in the futures market. You are market neutral. Like if you're just the spot ETH goes up, then your short goes down and vice versa, right? So they cancel each other out. And that's exactly what they're doing here, hedging. And so they go through all this example of how your portfolio would stay the same based on them buying some ETH in the spot and also opening a short worth that same USD amount. But here is how you make a little bit of money consistently. It's the funding fee. If you've ever traded perpetual futures like on DYDX, you'll know what the funding fee is. One thing you got to know about perps or perpetual contracts is that they don't expire, but they need these funding rates to ensure that the futures prices and index prices converge on a regular basis. So funding rates are periodic payments either to traders that are long or short based on the difference between the perpetual contracts markets and spot prices, right? So sometimes the long traders pay the short positions consistently on these intervals, and other times the shorts pay the longs. It all depends on supply and demand, right? If everyone wants to go long, then the longs need to give some money periodically to the short positions to make sure that the market is balanced. That's essentially how it works. And then Pionex gets these funding fees as the arbitrage profit. So it's a tiny amount, right? Like 0.01% is the funding rate, but you get paid this consistently and then it builds up over time. And basically the idea is that the ETH funding rate on Binance, which is the market that Pionex uses for the short, will receive funding fees paid by the long position. That's because most of the time people want to be long. And of course, it depends on the market conditions. If it's a deep bear market for a long time, that's not going to be the case. And this is not going to be a good strategy. So why do you need a bot though? Because you could do this manually. It's easy to use. It automatically settles for you. It's guaranteed by their Seifu program in extreme market conditions. You should go look this up in the bot later to see more details. And it's high efficiency because Pionex only charges 0.05% for spot, which is lower than most exchanges. For these 4 reasons, it may make more sense to do this with Pionex's bot than manually, even though you could do it manually. And then they have all these screenshots. All right, so here's an important part, because what is the difference between moderate mode and aggressive mode? Aggressive mode is the way number 2 that you can make passive income. One thing to note is that moderate mode uses a 100% fund utilization rate, whereas aggressive mode can use leverage. So it's a little bit riskier and more aggressive. Like here, moderate mode is not leveraged and never has the possibility of liquidation, whereas aggressive mode does have it. No need to auto deleverage, no need to pay the fee in that case. In aggressive mode, you can choose more altcoins to arbitrage, whereas moderate mode only has ETH. And then they have a lot of great FAQ here. But let's go back. And if you want to click down here, they have the aggressive mode as well. And you can see it's easy to reach 15 to 50% APR. And they have all these options with your different APRs annualized and how much profit. It's like a few USDT every funding period, but it adds up over time, right? And it's low risk, consistent returns. That's what it's all about. And then they have these great pictures of like if the longs pay the shorts or vice versa, depending on the futures price compared to the index price. A lot of good information here. I'm not going to go over all of it because we kind of have the idea from the previous one. But now this dual investment, this is a structured product, okay? You're going to get a better idea of this in a sec when I show you on the screen share in the mobile app. But just walking through this real quick, I'm not even going to read this part to you because it sounds really complicated, but it's really not. Basically, this product, the yield of the product is clear and fixed, right? You get a fixed yield guaranteed essentially at the time of buying that product. But the currency that it settles it is uncertain. They're either going to give you, like for BTC USDT dual investment, BTC at the end of the period plus yield in BTC, or USDT plus yield in USDT at the end of the settlement period. These two just depend on if you buy in with BTC or USDT. And then there's a delivery date, there's a yield, and then there's annualized yield if they extrapolate it to a whole year. The target price is the price that they look at the end of the time. Like let's say it's $50,000. If BTC is above that, they're going to give you back USDT and a certain guaranteed amount of yield that you know beforehand. If it's below that, they're going to give you BTC plus yield in BTC instead. You may be wondering right now, like, is this too good to be true? And the answer is no, because it's giving you guaranteed yield, but you potentially lose upside. Like if BTC rockets a lot past 50K, just as an example, it's going to give you back USDT. But if you just held BTC instead and never bought this product, then you would have gotten more USD value worth at the end. Likewise, if it goes down, if BTC drops way under 50K, then instead of getting that guaranteed BTC plus yield, you could have just kept your USDT instead and then bought way more BTC at the end of the day. You're giving up on upside both ways, up and down. So that's why it's not too good to be true, but it's still a great product if you want passive income. Right, here's just a quick example. Invest BTC, target price 60K, yield 0.6%, and annualized yield is more if you do it over and over for a whole year. At October 1st, if settlement price is lower, the user will get 0.6% of BTC, and that is 1.006 BTC. Now, if settlement price is higher, they get 60,360 USDT, right? So you always get 0.6% of income the The only uncertainty is the currency of return. That's why they built this product. And just FYI, they have this in the traditional finance world as well. They have these dual currency products, banks offer them, and then they get some profit off it if you buy it off them. That's the whole point, right? Pionex gets the profit, the banks in the traditional finance world get a profit. That's how it works. But you're about to see how it works live. Okie dokie, so I'm gonna pull up my Pionex app right here, and let's take a look at the arbitrage bots first, right? There's two options. You go down here on the bottom to earn, and it's arbitrage already at the top, right? That's what's selected. And you can see I already have a BTC USD arbitrage bot going on here. But if you click this create button, create, there's moderate mode and aggressive mode. Let's look at moderate mode first, right? This is, like they say, lowest risk, and they show you their previous APRs in 7-day, 30-day, and 180-day. And you can drag the USDT amount you have that you want. And the coin they're going to arbitrage is ETH, just like I said earlier. And they tell you the funding fee, the profit settlement, price gap. Just press create and you're good to go. But let me go back real quick and do that again. This time, aggressive mode. Let's check that out. You can choose which coin you want to arbitrage now, right? There's BTC, ETH, and a bunch of other altcoins, which may be a little riskier. And then back here, you can once again select your minimum amount. And then they have an advanced settings that we didn't see before, and they have this leveraged. The higher the leverage, the higher the profit is. But then the futures part of this arbitrage trade will be easier to be liquidated. So like they say here, they will auto stop the futures and sell the spot when it's near the liquidation price. You may lose trading fees and slippage. That is the more aggressive mode, 2x. By default, you can switch to 3x or 1x, which defeats the purpose if you're trying to use this aggressive mode, right? And then you can also control the price gap as well. That's it for that. If you go back to the earn page and go up here top to structured, you can see structured product, which is the third option I talked about. Press invest. And just to keep it simple, let's take a look at the dual investment option right here. There's a lot of options here, but the main ones that we covered were USDT BTC, or the flip side, BTC USDT if you want to invest in BTC. Let's just do the USDT one. And what's really interesting here is that their chart really clearly tells you, like at the settlement time, what is the price that is the pivot point, right? 46,000. If it's above that, you get your yield and return in USDT. If it's below that, you get your yield and capital back in the form of BTC. You can really easily tell, and you can go to 2-day settlement time, and they have a lot more options here with a different target price. Like the closer the target price is to the current price of Bitcoin, the more aggressive it is and the riskier, because it may go under that and give you back BTC at that fixed amount. Whereas the ones that are lower than the current price, it's easier for you to stay above that for the most part, and you'll get your USDT yield, just really low risk and more certain that you're gonna get the USDT yield that they say. And then there's others like even longer term, right? Like 10 days, 17 days, 24 days, and on and on. You can see all the options, but the main details are the same. And if you click on the detail, you can look at my profit, which is 0.16%, and then APR is what that scaled out to be for the whole year. And then delivery date, to tell you the date, the target price, and so forth. And you can just purchase this product as simple as clicking a button. So yeah, that's the structured product. And let me know if you have any questions. All right, so I hope that gave you a better idea of each of the 3 products and how they work / how to set them up. But now let's talk high-level tips. First, try them out with a smaller amount first and get a good feel for it before putting in larger amounts. I've been using them for months now with no issues, but I recommend taking baby steps with all the crypto platforms, no matter what they are, DeFi, CeFi, whatever. Second, keep in mind that these products generate yield, but depending on market conditions, sometimes it's not going to be that much. I remember someone commented on a previous Pionex video that I made, and they were like, what? Only 5% gains after a month? Get out of here with that measly amount. But like I said earlier, these products are not meant to get you 10x gains. You can already just buy and hold altcoins for that. These are for the slice of your portfolio that you want to use to generate more consistent and low risk return. And third, if there's any question you still have after watching this video, go check out their blog that I'll link you down below. They have posts about each and every product that they offer, and they're super in-depth and have screenshots and FAQs as well. You can also join the Telegram group that I'll also drop the link below if you have questions or just want to chat with other traders and investors about their experiences. By the way, if you're interested in crypto trading bots in general, definitely watch this video that I made about Pionex's grid bot, or watch this one about their rebalancing bot where I made my own Coinsider altcoin index as well. I'm Kevin from Coinsider, can't wait to see you on the next one, and cheers!